Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Making Sense of It All. I'm your host, Jesse Stakes, and today we're diving into one of the biggest sporting and economic stories heading towards the East Coast in 2026. It's the PGA Championship at Aronimink Golf Club in Newtown Square, Pennsylvania. This just isn't any other major. This week is expected to bring over 200,000 visitors into Delaware County and pump an estimated $125 million into the local economy. Hotels are already booked out, restaurants are gearing up for record traffic, and small business across the region is preparing for what could be the most impactful week they've ever seen. Aronimink itself is a historical venue. It's a Donald Ross masterpiece that has hosted everything from the AT&T National to the BMW Championship to the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, and now for the first time since 1962, it's back on the global stage hosting the PGA Championship. Today, we're going to break down what makes this course such a demanding test, why the economic impact is so massive, and what fans, businesses, and players can expect when the world of golf descends on Newtown Square. So grab your beverage of choice and join me in the 10 Cup Club as we jump into the PGA Championship. Mr. Blakely, thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure.
Mike Padron, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. Always a good time.
And Wes, thank you so much for being a part of this today.
Absolutely. Looking for another great conversation, boys.
So as always, let's start with what you drinking, boys. Padron, I'll go to you first.
All right. Got to show you the bottle. Here we go. Dickel. Bottle and bond whiskey.
Oh, George.
Sorry.
Here we go.
There you go. This is great stuff, man. Dickel is one of my favorite lines of bourbon, man.
I bet.
Sure it is.
I guess no, sorry. Tennessee whiskey. Dickel makes some great stuff. Dickel 15 is one of my favorites.
So you like 15-year-old Dickel, huh?
Yeah, I do like.
You're on the list, man. You're in the pot.
Blakely, what are you drinking?
Oh man, I walked into that.
Classic Buffalo Trace tonight.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Altus?
They got me a little Weller Antique. Oh, no, you can't see it because of my background. Oh, well. Weller Antique 107. Very, very classy drink.
Nice. I went clear today, boys, in honor of the tin cup that we just finished. I'm drinking Wheatley's American vodka that is actually distilled by Buffalo Trace. So,
Yes, sir.
cheers.
Hey, guys.
Cheers, gentlemen.
All right, so let's start with some news first. The PGA Tour has made a lot of changes, or they're set to make a lot of changes. I think a lot of it they're trying to get the best players together and try to create an impactful product for their advertisers, for the people that are watching, and to make sure that that from a business perspective that the product that they're putting out there is the best that it possibly can be when they're on television or when they are doing a tournament. They want it to be an incredibly impactful product. I'd love to get y'all's thoughts on it. Wes, what do you think about some of these changes? What do you think about, like, how does it impact your thoughts on golf, on the professional game, and you just being entertained, period?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a golf sicko, so golf is good. I just never got into the live product, but it's definitely a reaction. I like how they're starting to allow the players to post some actual behind the scenes stuff, it looks like. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but they hired NFL Films to do like a road to Sunday or something like that. That was really cool. Like the caddy stuff, I think we've talked about before, the caddy player interaction. So I think anything to move golf into more homes is always a good thing. And we know the past couple commissioners that kind of just rode on Tiger's coattails and just let him bring in all the money, and now they have to get creative and have to adjust to a new demographic with people watching stuff on YouTube and social, and people wanting kind of highlight packages about 15 minutes. So I think this is going to be a good thing for the PGA Tour if they can get the right products out.
Blakely, what do you think?
Yeah, I think overall it's a good thing. Anytime you're able to get your product packaged on multiple platforms and seen by multiple different people, there's there's no downside to that, in my opinion. I I love watching, golf when it comes on the TV. I really enjoy watching Full Swing. Um, I thought that was neat. I am not one of these guys who watches YouTube. Maybe I'm a little behind the times on that. So I didn't even really understand until, Bryson started talking about it all when he was going to live, that there was such a issue with being able to post your content from the tournament, things you're doing leading up to the tournament, other stuff on YouTube. I didn't even know about that. I feel like changing those rules is great. It doesn't make any sense to me if the stars of your product are trying to put more eyes on your product, whether or not they're making some money off of it. It's not a bad thing. It just that doesn't make any sense. So I think it's a good move by them. Maybe I'll start watching a little bit of YouTube now that I I know it's a thing.
Sure. Mike, what are your thoughts? Anything that sticks out to you?
No, honestly, I didn't even realize there was all those restrictions until they came out with it. I'm like, what was one of the ones like produced 3 minutes on site? I'm like, they were really limiting how many minutes they could do. Like,
Yeah,
what?
it's crazy.
Like,
It's
yeah, I
crazy.
didn't even because for me, it's like any kind of anything they post is just going to be better for the PGA Tour in the long run. So why are you not letting these guys just do what they want to do? I mean, I don't. I mean, it almost goes back. I guess the argument, and it goes back to kind of like the name and likeness of, the college days. Like, not to bring up a whole different other subject, but it kind of goes back to that. It's like, well, you guys are benefiting off of us. It's almost like a reverse scenario of, the PGA Tour saying the players are benefiting off of them, in a way. But I can't imagine this is a bad thing for anybody. It just brings more eyes. It brings everything. And ironically, I think the person that has the biggest impact on this overall is a guy that is not even on the PGA Tour, is Bryson. I think his
100%.
his impact on all of it, and he's not even on the PGA Tour. It's just he's one of the biggest guys in this world, and he's single-handedly, maybe not single-handedly, but having a huge impact on the social media part of all of it for the PGA Tour, and he's not even on the tour. So I think it can't be a bad thing for anybody. It's going to be good for the game of golf. More for me, like golf said, like Wes said, he's a sicko of it. I think more golf is always better. I don't care in what platform it is.
I thought it was incredibly telling after Bryson gave that interview last week when he was saying basically kind of he was airing his grievances of saying why he may not go back to the PGA Tour. They almost immediately made a rule change to
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
like to way that the players could utilize their own media or how they could shoot during practice rounds, things like that. I don't see a world like I know we were talking, we had some text messages back and forth. And Wes, I know you had said it from a golf perspective, and so did Mike Shelton at the time about like John Rahm being the more attractive person to get back to the PGA Tour from a golf perspective. But from a television perspective, from a media perspective, from a YouTube perspective, from just interest in the human being, Bryson DeChambeau right now, he's got to be the most interesting golfer on the planet, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I don't know if it's him or the people that on his management side that has done this image change for him, but I mean, brilliant. Let's be honest. Whoever's ideas these are, and for him to get in front of the camera and buy into it and, you know, put on the character, or if this is really him, I don't know. It's entertaining. I watch his stuff, and it's cool that he plays against the other creators or tries to break, 50 from the front tees with these creators. It gives a light into one, how good he is compared to these other guys, and two, just seeing like he's kind of just a dude with them. So the more Bryson, as far as it getting out there via YouTube or whatever, is just, I think, just good for golf, like we've said.
100%. Well, and like Blakely, I'll ask you this. Like I've heard PGA Tour guys and some of the guys on the Golf Channel kind of echoing what Wes just said as far as questioning whether it's really Bryson or it's a character. And then they try to almost put him back in the box that they had him in the PGA Tour, 5 years ago or whatever it is, acting like he's kind of the villain or the bad guy.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, why in the hell would he want to go back to that? If that's how they're going to treat him, or if that's what they're going to do, why in the world would he subject himself to that when he's being so successful outside of their box?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you go back to where he was like 5 years ago, I think a lot of that was on him. When he started opening up, doing these little challenges, like he said, getting with the creators and showing out who he actually was, you started seeing people, including myself, change their tune. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, he was never my favorite guy. I always thought he was kind of a villain. The PGA Tour took that angle. They let Brooks be the person that people wanted, and made him the villain. And now we've seen his real personality, or if you want to say he's faking it, his fake personality. But I like that one more than the real one. Um,
Hmm.
I think that he has grown. This is me personally, to such a point. Like you said, the PGA is making changes the day after he announces some of his grievances. He's grown to a point where people love this guy. If he goes back to the PGA, they will not be able to pigeonhole him into the villain. It's impossible, and it would be bad for business. It'd be a dumb move. So, I
Hmm.
mean, I think that personally, he is in the position of power. I mean, if he wants to come back, he's almost kind of naming his stipulations. He says, "Oh, I don't like that. I can't do this." PGA said, "Okay, we're going to loosen up the reins on that." I wouldn't be surprised if he came back with something else just to see what he could get. Um, I think he's in a good position to come back if he wants.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, I'll ask you because you're the resident expert on TGL since they're one of your employers. But I mean, like, do they bring the Crushers to TGL? Like, I mean, if like, I mean, I don't know if I don't know if they'd have the naming rights because he supposedly owns the team, quote unquote. But I mean, if Liv potentially folds, do you see the Crushers enter TGL?
Uh, well, I think the last thing you'll see is anything live in at TGL. I think Tiger's the last person that's going to start allowing that. I think you see the PGA Tour start to fold and let all that stuff come in. No, I think it just he the whole team ownership thing, I think that's completely separate from him. Although it does own it, I think it's just a different scenario. I think if he comes over, he's going to have to kind of let that go. I that's the one thing he's going to have to try to give up. Whether he's going to try to hold on to it as much as he can, he's going to have to at some point give in something. But again, like you said, what's his incentive? He has no incentive to come over. Um, he's playing the majors. He's doing what he can do on social media, and he's kind of living his life right now. So
Well, and I think
what's the
it
point?
bears I think it bears to acknowledge he's not married. He doesn't have children. So if he wants to fly in his private jet over to Europe or over to Asia and playing events just to get events in and to keep tournament ready, I don't think he'll have a problem with that. I think he'll be
He's
able
still
to
getting points.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's just talk about this. I mean, Live right now. Is it dead or is it changing?
I think it's dead.
Dead?
I mean, it's dying if it's not dead. I mean, if your number one money source, unless something has changed recently that I did not figure out, is gone, then it's slowly, if not, I thought it was already dying even with that money source. I mean, they're
Yeah.
hemorrhaging for how many years now? I mean, I don't even know what the number was, but it was astronomical what they were losing every year. And then somebody came out with a quote from Piff saying, we just need to come up with a business plan. Like, what? This many years later, you're going to come up with a business plan? Like,
Yeah.
maybe this is something you should have done when you started the league. So I think it was just a mess from the very beginning. They were trying to do something that they had no business of doing, and just trying to literally buy these guys and try to buy the game of golf. And it worked for about maybe 6 months, and it's been dying ever since, and I just can't imagine it going much longer. I feel bad for some of the guys, but they're eventually going to be let back in, and you know, in a few years it'll all be hopefully water under the bridge.
So let me ask this a different way, Wes. Like, is there a place in the golf ecosystem for team golf for something that Live represents? Like you are like to your point, Padron, like they've already spent 5 or 3 billion, whatever the number is that PIF has spent on getting this thing up and running. They have branded something for 4 years. They have got the name Live Golf out there to where everybody knows what it is. If like it's just like buying any other distressed asset. If somebody's not running a McDonald's well, or if somebody's not running any
Hmm.
kind of business well, somebody can come in, scoop up the assets for pennies on the dollars, and then take that and make a success out of it potentially. Do you see it? Do you see anything in golf to where maybe in, I don't want to call it silly season because I don't think it really exists anymore, but something like opposite of the PGA Tour in different countries. I mean, it's been proven to work in Australia, South Africa, in Spain, in some of these markets that wasn't getting golf as much golf as other markets. There's a demand for it. People want
Hmm.
events. So does it exist somewhere else and it just looks different? You don't have as many stars, but you have a lot of international players, or does it go?
Yeah, I think if it stays, I think it'd have to be something that's more of a global tour. I can see
Agree.
DP World Tour and Live some kind of merging together because I don't think DP World Tour has been super stoked on their strategic partnership with the PGA Tour. Um, but I mean, if you're not going to have the top players, it's kind of like, well, what the hell are we watching? Like, I don't want to watch, I think, as we said before the show starts, XFL. Yeah, great, cool idea, but we didn't know anyone. Like, who cares? I don't see it. I think team golf is a cool concept, but when we think team golf, we're thinking Ryder Cup, like all the energy that goes into that. It's, every other year, and it's like, hell yeah, USA, Europe. They have to build something like that if you're going to have team golf. And if you don't have superstars behind that and doing it, I don't see how it works.
Okay. So Blakely, I'll ask you this, and then we'll get off this. We'll get onto the PGA Championship. But as far as the impact that Live has had on the professional game, you think about it, if there's no Live, if it doesn't exist, we're not talking about, PGA Tour player media rights, or we're not talking about them having access to do more creator content. We're definitely not talking about how much these guys have been making for the last 2 or 3 years. Like, what do you feel like from a like if you're looking at it, and I'm asking you to have a little bit of a crystal ball, but what do you see as Liv's impact 5, 10 years from now when you're looking back on it? What do you think is the major impact that Liv has had on the game of golf?
Yeah. And disclaimer, I'm not a live guy, but
Sure, 100%.
I do think that the overall major impact, the way I see it, is that the PGA Tour has to recognize that these players are not just commodities to make them money.
Mhm.
They've branched out. They said, you know what, we're going to go away from you. We're going to make our own money, do our own thing. And now you see them start rolling back some of their rules in order to make um, the PGA Tour a more friendly place for the players who are actually out there swinging every day and making the money. And I
Yep.
think we'll see, you say, in the next 10 years, a lot more restrictions fall so that the players can be themselves and do more of what they want as they continue to generate a truckload of money for the PGA. I mean, me personally, just like Mike said, I didn't even know they had all these rules and regulations.
Yeah,
And so
Yeah.
it's showing normal people like us that they exist. And, now that something's in the light, they can't continue to do it that way.
100%. I'll tell you, the first time it ever dawned on me that the players didn't have access to any of this was when they had the match, when Mickelson and Tiger Woods were playing, or when some of these other matches they had. Mickelson had brought it up, and he was saying how much money that they had to pay the PGA Tour to show highlights from the PGA Tour events, and
So,
it was millions of dollars that they had to pay. So it was like it made it very difficult for them to be profitable doing these productions on TNT Sports.
Hmm.
So that was the first kind of like, wow, I didn't, I always thought of the PGA Tour as a nonprofit. I thought about it as something for the players by the players. But when you really like, and it's all public information, when you look at the 990 for the PGA Tour, There's a couple of guys on that list of people like officers of the PGA Tour as far as a nonprofit that make significantly more than probably about 90 to 95% of the players do. And that was
Oh
eye-opening for
yeah.
me looking at that.
Do we know?
Hey,
I'm sorry to
No,
hijack.
go
Do we
ahead.
know how many of the live players, like the percentage wise, have actually played on the PGA Tour?
Oh,
Well, I
it's a
most of
very
them.
high percentage. A couple of the new ones were out of college,
Yeah,
but
but most of
man,
them have been on the tour.
I would say it's over 90%. Like
Okay.
it is like a lot because you got to figure it's like former, your Ian Poulters, your Lee Westwoods, those type of guys that were on the back into the career, but they're all like PGA Tour
Okay.
multiple time winners.
Yeah, I mean the Champions Tour will get a hell of a shot in the arm if they fold Live and these
Yeah,
guys can, on the Champions Tour. You'll have some great names out there playing on the Champions Tour.
75 to 85%.
is it
Yeah.
really? I thought it'd been more than
Yeah.
that.
But I mean, I guess my point too, though, is, hey, I appreciate all they've done for the game of golf, but I don't want to see somebody playing in the league week in and week out that should be on the Champions Tour. If I want to do that, I watch the Champions Tour, you know? I'm trying to see the best of the best.
Mhm.
Here's my thing, and I think I've said it before on this, like to all of you guys. I look at it all as professional entertainment. Like we're either paying for a ticket or we're paying, to watch it on television, whatever it is, and there's advertisers paying for it. I want to be entertained, period.
Yeah.
Like I don't care I mean, if it's the names, if it's the people that I want to see, or if it's the quality of golf, whatever it is, entertain me and I'll spend my money. If you don't
Mhm.
entertain me, if it's boring, I'm going to flip the channel. I'm going to find something that is entertaining for me.
Yeah.
All
Hey,
right, boys,
also
go
real quick
ahead.
on what on what Wes said about changing up the match true team golf real quick because I'm a sucker for match play. If they made this a true team golf live, they just completely flipped it on its head and made it true match play where you're sending out pairings against other teams and did this like a 3-day event like that. I'd be watching that. And you made it. You wouldn't have the same fanfare as a Ryder Cup or President's Cup. I get that because it's
Yep.
not countries involved, but that would be fun to watch. If you
Yeah.
made
If they had,
actual
if they had
crushers
quality
versus
players.
aces are this Thursday or whatever, and they're going to
Yeah.
play this match, that'd be awesome. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scenario intrigues me, but you still need the players.
You got to play.
You got to have
Yeah.
the top dudes.
No doubt.
So,
All right, boys, on to the PGA Championship. So the PGA Championship's being held at Aronimink. It is in Newtown Square, Pennsylvania, and for people who don't know where that is right outside of Philly. So major metropolitan market. You got, fantastic for fans that are coming in as far as things to do outside of golf. Um, love to get y'all's thoughts on Philly as a destination. Anybody been there?
I'll step aside. I have not been there, unfortunately.
I've been through the airport. Great, great Philly cheesesteak at the airport.
Yeah, I've never been to Philly. I got a friend up there, but I've never been.
All right, I guess I'm standing on this one by myself. So I have been to Philly. Philly is an absolutely fantastic market. The food is like, as far as street food, like Philly cheesesteaks, absolutely. I mean, that's what they're known for. But you're also talking about the birthplace of this country. I mean,
America.
absolutely, 100%. I mean, Ben Franklin is buried there, for God's sakes. Betsy Ross's house is there. If you want to see where the first Congress met, you want to see the Liberty Bell, it's all in this city. So if you're going out to the tournament this week, not only are you watching fantastic golf, you might be able to catch a Phillies game, but the city is second to none when it comes to tourism and for you to see like a piece of history when it comes to the United States of America. I can't recommend it enough. If you haven't been there, it's find a hotel room. You can walk the city. So I mean, your legs might be tired at the end of it, but it's an absolutely fantastic walkable city, and it's worth going to.
Yeah, it's some of the
The one
most
thing I will
passionate
say,
fans.
Jesse, even though I've never been, if you've seen a Philadelphia team play anything, you've seen that stadium is always packed and there's
100%.
go crazy. So I think it'll be cool to have it in that city because the locals will definitely be there and they'll be excited.
Just don't wear Dallas Cowboys shit while you're there.
And they are the Philadelphia Phillies are away this weekend, by the way. So they're
Well, shut that down.
they're
Yeah.
they're in Pittsburgh. So
Dynamite drop in there, Padron.
Just don't want people trying to get tickets, I'm saying.
So, Wes, what do you think about the venue itself? Old Donald Ross course. What are your thoughts?
I I'm a sucker for Donald Ross courses. Gil Hanse came in and did a redo or restoration, sorry, not a redo. So I always love seeing the old classic courses. I think the only drawback is they don't transfer very well into the new modern game with how far people are hitting it. But I think if you like set it up properly, I think we could see something good. But I just yeah, give me Donald Ross's all day long, and I'm gonna be a happy camper.
Blakely, do you think that there's a certain person or a certain group of golfers as far as type goes that are going to benefit more? Like with this kind of being a little bit shorter venue in some cases. I know some of the par fours are playing pretty short, like 315, 320.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just really brings everybody into play. With the shorter par fours, you don't have to be able to bomb it. I think who's really going to excel at this place is the people who can putt, like Donald Ross. The thing I love about the Donald Ross course is those kind of like turtle shell greens, or they're domed, they're difficult greens. It's shout out to Timaquana. That's a Donald Ross course. Love that place. I think the person who's got the flat stick rolling well is going to, probably benefit the most. Uh, it is going to be cool though. I like Donald Ross courses.
Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I love that they're bringing back these old courses. I love that they're going to the big cities. I think that's also, um, I think also for the PGA Tour. I know this is PGA of America, but the PGA Tour down the road, they're also wanting to do this, trying to get to these large, cities down the road. I know that's a big focus of theirs in the future. So this is also good, and you can't get a much better fan base than the Philly fan base as far as just sports in general. And I do love that somebody like Gil Hans comes in and restores a Donald Ross course, because I feel like it's two different things. I mean, you got somebody like Gil Hans coming in. I mean, I love his designs, like right here in Florida, Stream Song Black. He did one bucket list course for me is a hoopy. He did that one. It's just to be able to blend two architects like that is just a really cool thing, and to be able to play a course like that would be amazing for me. Um, but as far as players goes, I mean, I think Blakely nailed it. And I mean, all majors as well, but putting is going to be huge here, because I think some of the shorter holes are going to kind of take away some of the long bombers. But then again, some of the long guys are going to be able to get down there, with some of the shorter clubs too. So be able to bring some of their accuracy in play. And one thing I just saw here watching live from 174 bunkers, only 3 water hazards in this course. So you're going to have some guys taking out some drivers on these shorter holes and just bombing it.
Yeah.
So you get some of these guys that are driving off the tee like a Rory, that are strokes gains off the tee. You're looking at that as a potential somebody that can just run away with it if they're accurate off the tee this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that there's going to be, I mean, as much as there's a premium on putting, I mean, it's going to be your distance control with your irons into greens too. I mean, if you've got, I mean, just like on a lot of Donald Ross designed courses, if you're underneath the hole and you're putting back up the hill, like you're in a much better spot than if you're above the hole, or if you're, if you're in a bad spot that you've, as far as having to be very cautious with your first putt, if you can't be aggressive, I mean, I think that's gonna affect your scores a lot too. What do you think, Wes?
Yeah, I think whoever's hot with the driver is gonna, I think, bring this course to its knees. So I'm just looking at, we're saying like a 305 drives, we're looking at 115, 85, 122, 139. Like these guys, unless this rough is nuts and these greens are 14, you can't hold them. They're gonna run. I think that there's gonna see like 20 plus under winning this thing. This is gonna be interesting. It's gonna come down to the course setup, but just looking at it purely on distances and aerials, I think this is gonna be a really, really low scoring PGA Championship.
Well, we talked about something like this before in terms of like, do you want to see people play these courses you never get to go to versus places you've been before? I do think it's kind of cool that this is a Don Ross course because he has a lot of courses that are pretty accessible to most people. Like I've played multiple. Um, but with what Wes is saying, it being kind of gettable, do you enjoy watching a more gettable PGA, or do you want the scores to be like -4?
Get a
Well,
ball.
I personally I want to see like a good leaderboard, to be
Yeah,
honest. But at the same time, if the winning score is like in the 20s at a major, eh, it's just like a normal PGA Tour event. I'm
it's a little
sorry.
rough.
I want to see in a perfect world like 12, like someone play really well and get to 12 like Augusta does a lot of times. That
Yeah,
if it's nice out, you'll see 14, 16 maybe. Unless you know soak like DJ did in the COVID one. But yeah, if it's a shootout, and this is why it's my least favorite major, I probably won't hold my interest if it gets it that low, unless they are just four guys just birdie after birdie and they're keeping up with each other like Phil and Henrik did at the Open Championship a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I feel like it's when I watch a major, I want to see the guys be tested. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to see it be something to where, like you said, I don't want to feel like every other weekend does on the PGA Tour where it's like we got a birdie fest. I want to see them have to earn it. I want to see the
Uh-huh.
guys, but I also want to see them be able to score. Like that's one thing that's a negative about the U.S. Open sometimes is that
Agreed.
is that if they can't come back, if Sunday can't be exciting, if somebody can't come from behind, if they're hot and win it because it's just too tough, they're having to defend par the whole time,
Yeah.
then it's not that fun to watch. Like
yeah,
I'd like to be able to see somebody on Sunday who's 3 to 5 strokes back have a shot. If they come out and they shoot a 62 or a 63, they can go out there and grab the cup and win it.
yeah,
Yeah, I think just to go US Open last year at Oakmont, it was kind of boring until the rain delay. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, shit got interesting. Like people were making a little bit of runs, the course softened up a little bit. So I want people to have a chance if they hit a good shot. The worst thing I hate, and this is why US Open frustrates the hell out of me, they hit a good shot and it's like they get toasted because it was, an inch off. Like that's not golf to me. That's just you hit the shot and you got kind of lucky that it ended up close.
Yeah. You guys have any favorite storylines or anything coming into this that is like stands out in your mind? Is there anything that you're excited about?
I want to see somebody, well, we're going to talk about that later, but I want to see some of these guys that have never been in this situation be there on Sunday and see them close it out. Um, you know, the guys like a Cam Young that's never won it before. I
Yeah.
want to see, not that I'm sick of the Schefflers and the Roy. I love those guys winning. I do. But I want to see these new guys win their first. I just love seeing those moments.
Mhm.
Um, those are the storylines I like to see. But then again, on the same note, I don't want to see a nobody win it either.
Yeah.
No, no.
Like no shot here to anybody. I don't want to see an Aaron Rye win it out of nowhere on a Sunday. Like
Yeah.
I don't want two gloves out there holding a cup. Like not something I want to see.
Just call the guy out, why don't you?
I know who Mike's picking.
Elton's picking Aaron Rye.
I got
No, I think that's cool. It's cool to watch.
so for me, I got two. I like number one, I mean, I keep waiting for Jordan Spieth to have a day and really
yeah,
play well in the PGA Championship. I mean, he's got one left to complete the career Grand Slam, and it feels like he could. I mean, but he hasn't really put together 4 solid days in a major in a long time now. I mean, we're talking about a decade at
Yeah.
this point. Um, like so that's one of the ones that I'm really excited about. And then you said it, Cam Young too. I mean, like this dude really has. I mean, he played incredibly well in the Masters. Just came up a bit short, and you can't really argue when you lose to a guy like Rory. And then what he did as far as hanging in tough and winning the Players this year, and the guy has just played his tail off all year long. So I mean, he's another one that I just think is. I mean, he's due. I mean, like you start to look at it, and he's got to be on that short list of people who are the best golfer not to win a major at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
definitely.
All right, boys. I think with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mike, for your picks.
All right, boys. We're gonna go in reverse snake order. So to give you a really quick recap from the Masters. Um, with my picks, I came in first with 2.8, a little over 2.8 million with Scheffler and Reed. Blakely was second at 1.5 million with Rose and Matsuyama. West was third at 731,000. And then Shelton at 373K with Oberg and Tommy at fourth place. And then last place was Stakes with Bryson and Fitz. Bryson missing the cut. Hurt him pretty good there.
Grind it in, why don't you?
I was
So
gonna
it's
say,
340.
this is actually Justin, so you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Justin and Justin are new.
Ghost you speak of.
Yeah, Justin will be picking first because even though he's not here and he's never made a pick, he gets to pick first because we're going to give him a little bit of an advantage to try to catch up, even though he only needs 341,000 to catch up to Justin. Uh, so Justin's first pick that he texted me is Scotty Scheffler, which no shock there.
Of course.
So Jesse, you have the second pick.
Rory McIlroy. Not making that mistake twice.
Yeah, nobody picked him for the Masters, which was absolutely shocking to me.
That's
Um,
crazy.
and then Shelton, I've got his. His first two were Scheffler and McIlroy, obviously the gun. So he is going to go Cam Young.
Mm.
That's a great pick for him.
You just made me root against Cam Young this week.
So now we got Wes picking his first pick.
I'm gonna go with Matty Fitz.
Like it.
Fitz. You know what's funny is that was Shelton's next pick, and he had to put an M next to it just so I knew it was Matthew Fitzpatrick, not Alex.
That's crazy.
Which is kind of crazy. He had to do that, isn't it?
Is Alex in the field?
I don't know.
He's in the field.
That's
My
all.
pick.
That's so
Is
cool.
Cam Smith in this field?
Sure. I don't know.
I'm
We'll
gonna
make
go
it.
with Oberg.
I love it. That was my pick. But all right. Well, I got back-to-back picks here, and I cannot take Scheffler or Reed, which I don't care about Reed for this one. Man, I totally would have gone Xander here, but he killed me last week. I'm going to take a shot in the dark here, which shouldn't be, but I got to go Bryson. I don't know why I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it this week for him.
He's gonna have a lot of short chips up at these greens, so he's not a bad pick.
If he hits the driver, this reminds me of like what he did at Winged Foot a little bit.
He's got to get the driver going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough there for him. He's just got to stay accurate, and he should be okay.
If he wins it, he might be able to name his price to come back.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I hope he goes out there and wins it. That was my pick.
Let's go, JT.
I'd love for that. I'm gonna go with old Tommy. I'm feeling good about him.
Tommy's available for you, and he's yours.
Mike, who
All
did
right.
you take? Sorry, bud, you broke up. Who'd you take?
JT.
Okay.
It's a risky one, but he's playing well.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with a bomber here. This is gonna bite me in the ass. I'm gonna go Chris Gotterup.
That was the other one that I was sitting here thinking of. That's a good pick, man. All right, so Shelton, let's see if he has anybody left. If not, then you have to use that edit button again, bud. Oh, he does have somebody left. So Xander is available for him. All right. Jesse.
Is Rom still available?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rom is still available.
I'm taking
Very
down Rom.
available.
Rom is available. And then let's see. Does anybody left for Justin? Nope. Nobody's left for Justin. So give me 1 second.
Give him the winner of this last week.
Who was Rayton?
Rayton. Yeah.
And Rayton is rich.
He's rich.
I mean, he's rich.
By the way, Jake, I was gonna say he looks just like Jake Knapp, man, and he has the same penguin
Yeah.
shirt and everything. And Jake Knapp just withdrew while we were on this call, by the way.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, I think that wraps us up there, boys.
Very nice.
So here's to a good week. I hope you guys enjoy watching it, and I appreciate you guys for joining and having this conversation. We'll catch you guys down the road.
Good to see you.
All right, man.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Later.